And welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agmafwebe. A quick reminder to our viewers that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365 and free to air all night concert. The Nigerian Geological Survey Agency has allayed fears over earth tremors experienced in the Federal Capital Territory, urging residents not to panic. A statement by the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency Director General, Professor Olusegun Ige, disclosed that the agency had monitored the tremors and found them to be low and do not pose any threat to the environment. It reported that approximately 48 separate earthquake events have been recorded, with both intensity and frequency increasing between Friday, September 13th to Monday, September 16th. The federal government has alerted Nigerians to the water release from Lado Dam in Cameroon. The government made this known in a press statement signed by the Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, Umar Mohammed. The statement noted that the authorities of the Lago Dam in Cameroon will initiate controlled water releases starting from Tuesday, September 17, 2024. Statistics from the Nigeria Center for Disease NCDC have shown that more male Center's website, 67% of mpox cases recorded since January 2024 have been in males. The agency says men are predominantly affected, accounting for approximately 70% of 6,000 as one suspected and confirmed mpox cases recorded in the country since September 2017, when the first confirmed cases occurred. The federal government has so far deployed 100 drams of 40 kg chlorine to Borno State to disinfect water sources following the devastating flood, with plans to deploy more in the coming days. The announcement was contained in a statement by Balarabe Lawal, Minister of Environment. The move, aimed at ensuring safe drinking water and preventing the spread of waterborne diseases such as cholera, is part of a broader response by the Federal Ministry of Environment to mitigate the environmental and public health risks posed by the disaster. Meanwhile, Kwara State government has urged residents of the state to take seriously the various flood alerts, enlightenment and precautionary measures already done by the government and traditional institutions. State Commissioner for Communication Bola Olukoju, in a statement, says various agencies of government have abducted several public enlightenment programs on flooding and how to mitigate its impacts in the areas that are prone to it. The statement says the state government will continue to lend its voice to calls for the dredging of the River Niger, which is the permanent solution to the perennial flooding in that axis. The Medical and Dental Consultants Council of Nigeria has called on the federal government to immediately withdraw a controversial circular which claims discriminates against healthcare workers by denying them their lawful leave of absence. In a communique issued after its National Executive Council meeting, the Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria expressed displeasure over the government's new policy, which it described as a violation of a case signed by the Council's President, Professor Aminu Mohammed, and Secretary, Professor Deyabo Ibrahim, emphasized that the circular contradicts established civil service regulations. The policy allegedly forces doctors and other healthcare professionals to resign from their positions instead of getting leave of absence as prescribed by law. You're watching News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. When News Cycle returns, Russia region orders evacuation after Ukraine drone attack. Details of this and more after this break. Please don't go away. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of News Cycle with Uyi Agmofwebe. Thank you for your time with us. In business, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC) has officially approved the transfer of regulatory oversight of the electricity market in Kogi to the government of the state. This development followed the compliance of the state government with the stipulations outlined in the amended Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Electricity Act 2023 as amended. In a statement on NERC's official handle on X, the Commission highlighted the legal basis for this decision. NERC further retains its role as the central regulator overseeing interstate and international electricity generation, transmission, supply, and trading activities. Three major oil marketers are expecting vessels of imported premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, this week, barring any unforeseen circumstance. Dealers say about 141 million liters of PMS are being conveyed to Nigeria by the vessels following the full deregulation of the downstream oil sector by the federal government. They also noted that the recent hike in the pump prices of petrol produced by the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and released by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited had allowed room for PMS imports. The Naira has lost more than 100 against the US dollar at the official window, despite a slower headline inflation rate in August. Data from the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market, NAFEM, highlighted that the local currency was sold at 1,656 Naira to the US dollar, higher than the 1,546 Naira to the dollar recorded on Monday. However, in the parallel market, the Naira appreciated by 5 Naira, trading at 1,660 Naira to the greenback, compared to the previous rate of 1,665 Naira to the currency. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says it plans to broaden the application of its digital currency, e-Naira, to enable payments into government accounts and allow ministries, departments, and agencies to process vendor and beneficiary payments. This is according to the CBN's newly released Monetary Credit, Foreign Trade and Exchange Policy Guidelines for fiscal years 2024 to 2025 documents. According to the documents, the bank shall continue to work towards enabling the use of e-Naira wallets and channels by payers to pay into government accounts at the Apex Bank. An EU court has scrapped a €1.49 billion fine imposed by Brussels against Google over the abuse of dominance in online advertising. The General Court annulled the European Commission's decisions in its entirety, that's according to a Luxembourg-based court, in a statement noting that the institution committed errors in its assessment. Brussels failed to take into consideration all the relevant circumstances in its assessment of the duration of the contract clauses that the Commission had deemed abusive. The Commission, the EU's influential competition regulator, said it takes notes and would carefully study the judgment and reflects on possible next steps. The federal government, through the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, has announced a landmark partnership with the Central Association of Agricultural Valuers, CAAV, a UK-based body specializing in agricultural and rural land valuation, to review and update Nigeria's compensation rates for public land acquisition. This collaboration aims to modernize the outdated compensation framework with a focus on crops and economic trees, which has been in place since 2008. The announcement, contained in a statement on the official ministry's website, was made during the Knowledge Exchange program held in London on September 15, 2024. And now time to take you to the foreign scene, where hundreds of pagers used by Hezbollah members exploded across Lebanon, killing at least 9 people and wounding around 2,800 in blasts the Iran-backed militant group blamed on Israel. There was no immediate comment from the Israeli military on the wave of explosions, which came just hours after Israel announced it was broadening the aims of the war sparked by Hamas's October 7 attacks to include its fight against Hezbollah along the country's border with Lebanon. Elsewhere, Elon Musk's brain chip startup, Neuralink, has received the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's breakthrough device designation for the company's experimental implant, BlindSight. The device, called BlindSight, is designed to restore vision in individuals with complete or partial blindness, including those with non-functional optic nerves. According to Reuters, the FDA awards its breakthrough designation to medical devices that treat or diagnose life-threatening conditions, expediting their development and review. The local governor has stated that a partial evacuation has been ordered in Russia's Via region after a massive Ukrainian drone attack sparked a fire there. Igor Rudenya says emergency services in the town of Toropets were trying to localize the blaze caused by falling drone wreckage. He did not say whether there were any casualties. The Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI, and the United States Postal Department are investigating suspicious packages received by election officials in 70 states across the country. Federal investigators say they were collecting the packages and that some contained an unknown substance, though there were no reports of injuries. They were sent to secretaries of state and state election officials across the swath of the country from New York to Alaska. More than 50 people have been arrested as part of a major international investigation which dismantled an encrypted communication platform. The platform, known as Ghosts, was used to facilitate a wide range of criminal activities, including large-scale drug trafficking, money laundering, instances of extreme violence, and other forms of serious and organized crime. Europol and Eurojust, together with international law enforcement, worked together to carry out the operation. Over the course of the investigation, 51 suspects were arrested, including 38 in Australia, 11 in Ireland, 1 in Canada, and 1 in Italy, belonging to the Italian Sacra Corona Unità Mafia group. And out of sports, the intense rivalry between Africa's top table tennis nations, Nigeria and Egypt, will be reignited at the 2024 ITTF African Championships in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, from October 12 to 19. Serving as qualifiers for the 2024 ITTF Mixed Team Cup in China and the 2025 World Cup qualifiers and championships in Qatar, the tournament will feature top teams and regional champions competing in 2 team events and 5 individual events, which are men's teams, men's singles, women's singles, men's doubles, women's doubles, and mixed doubles. Right-hand batter and African Games bronze medalists Piety Lucky will captain Nigeria's under-19 girls as they travel to Rwanda for the 2025 ICC Under-19 Women's Cricket World Cup qualifiers. The Nigeria Cricket Federation announced the 14-player roster for the rescheduled qualifiers, which will be played from September 22 to 29 in Kigali, Rwanda. Captain Piety is joined by some other female yellow-green stars like super bowler Peculiar Agboya, teenage sensation Shola Adekule, Lilian Ude, and Christabel Chukwuonye. Italian icon Salvatore Schillaci, the top scorer at the 1990 World Cup, has died at the age of 59. Schillaci, better known as Toto, scored 6 goals to win the Golden Boot at the 1990 World Cup home soil. Italy lost in the semi-finals, but Schillaci was also awarded the Golden Ball as the best player and gained hero status. He was diagnosed with colon cancer in 2022. Capped 16 times for his country, scoring 7 goals, he represented Italian giants Juventus and Inter Milan after beginning his club career at Messina. Sad news, but a sterling career, no doubt. That's a full cycle on the news. Thank you everyone for watching. I am Uyi Agumofwegbe. We'll see you again.